Welcome to IHIP News, a place where we discuss politics with a side of petty grievances. And I just think it's worthy to point out right now that Donovan Lecter is hiding at Mar-a-Lago. He is completely hiding. He put out that disaster truth social yesterday, and he is in hiding. And I was wondering, why is Donovan Lecter hiding in his asylum at Mar-a-Lago? And it occurred to me that this hit the internet, and this is a photograph of none other than Donovan Lecter with the author of Project 2025, Kevin Roberts, flying on a private jet. So we've known forever that he is a total liar, a total fascist, a total malignant narcissist, convicted felon, adjudicated rapist, on and on and on. But here he is, busted on the PJ with this lunatic, horrible man, Kevin Roberts, Project 2025.
It's stunning how the Donald Trump's denial and distancing himself with Project 2025, he got Kevin Roberts to step down. He's saying, I don't know what it is. I don't even know these people. 31 of the people that helped write Project 2025 worked for him.
Right.
JD Vance writes the foreword of the book for Project 2025, his book. And now they're going to push off publishing till after the election.
I read that. Yeah.
Because it's wildly unpopular.
Wildly unpopular, and they are trying to rearrange the deck chairs on the Titanic because these people are bad at governing. They are bad at campaigning. They are bad people, and they have JD Vance and Donald Trump are nothing short of Trojan horses for far more nefarious and dangerous characters, because it is as evident as the nose on our faces that those two people are completely incompetent buffoons. Look at how terrible they are at campaigning. And let me give you another example. So they roll out this is their big attack, Tampon Tim, because Tim Walz wants to provide menstruation care for girls in schools that can't afford it or don't have access to it. The horror. These are the people that put maxi pads on their ears. Tens of thousands of them. And they're all waving, in their MAGA clothes and their photoshopped homoerotic pictures of Trump on them with maxi pads on their ears. And this is their big attack. This is how bad they are at their job. And yet this is another attack on half of the population. Half of the population requires some form of menstruation care. And to know that if you don't have the money or you don't have the ability to get a tampon or a maxi pad, and a Trump rally isn't close by to get the maxi pad, that you can go to school and not have to worry, because it's hard to be a girl in puberty. And Tim Walz provided this care, and they see that as a deficit, and they're like, owning the libs.
It's unbelievable, because it really is. It's such a privilege for women in this country to be able to afford feminine hygiene care products. And so for a governor to provide those in public school restrooms, that's a gift.
It's a win.
It's a win.
It is a way to care for, quote, families, to care for society. And they see this as, oh, look, we're gonna brand him. But these people are so bad at their jobs. And we talk about trickle-down incompetence. We've got Donovan Lecter at the top, who's hiding in his bunker at Mar-a-Lago, and he's got one rally planned in, the battleground state of Montana. Right. Okay. So he's been trotting out his very first decision that he had to make as the third time running for president, because his former vice president that his supporters wanted to hang won't endorse him.
Right.
So he has to pick this new little mini tyrant weirdo, JD Vance. And JD Vance tries so hard to be cool, and he is so breathtakingly uncool and weird. This is what he does in Michigan yesterday.
I know you're covering the vice president here. I figured I'd come by and one, just get a good look at the plane. Hopefully it's going to be my plane in a few months. But
Okay. So, viewer, he and the Harris campaign planes land at the same time. Harris is not there. So he goes out and he wants to confront the press and he's like, oh, this is going to be my plane soon. Blah, blah. Well, as video shows later, Kamala wheels up, her SUV wheels up. They tuck and roll.
Yeah.
And then he posts this embarrassing, horrible tweet. So it's him and all of the people that showed up to his rally in Michigan, which I think was about 20, in a parking lot. And he writes, this entourage reboot is going to be awesome.
The breathtaking lack of self-awareness, and good for Liz Cheney for calling it out. But what struck me about this whole thing with JD Vance is we have somebody that has completely shown his misogyny. There's no question about it. I mean, you cannot look at him and not think misogynist. This motherfucker is stalking Kamala Harris. He's going wherever she is and tries to go up on her plane. I'm no criminal law expert, but I know what stalking is. And following somebody around for the purpose of intimidation and harassment is stalking. And that's what he's doing. And he thinks it's funny and cute. It's not funny and cute. First of all, you can't even get 30 people to show up at a rally. So you really have no business that close to Air Force Two. It's jaw-dropping.
But let's just remember that when she rolled up, this alleged stalker tucked and rolled and ran away with his white boys and his toys and then put out that embarrassing tweet because most people like this, it's just all a veneer. Look at what a tough guy I am. And then they roll him out to Michigan. And you have to remember his boss cares desperately about crowd sizes. So he rolls out to Michigan in this pathetic parking lot. And basically, there's about 30 people there. And I think there's more press than there are rally goers. And Kamala has this massive hangar full of people. And then a second area of people. It's waves and waves and waves, Obama-esque style crowds. And this is just the beginning of her campaign. So it's going to be massive coming into the fall. And Kamala Harris HQ, I have to give this team credit. They created a Truth Social account, and they go and they post these crowd size disparities on Truth Social, and the trolling is just so top tier because everybody knows that stuff bothers him. Donald Trump could give two shits about poor girls having access to tampons or women having access to health care or feeding kids in schools. He doesn't care about any of that. He cares about optics and crowd size. So for her team to go set up a Truth Social account and make sure that they all see it, but they only follow one person on Truth Social, and it's Donald Trump. So he's seeing all this stuff, and it is such a level of psychological campaigning that I am here for. I love the petty factor in this. I think it is brilliant.
I absolutely love it. And I think that it's funny because yesterday, everything I looked at the news, everyone said, well, you know, Donald Trump, he's so worried about crowd size. I mean, his obsession with crowd size just tells me he has a small penis.
Well, I mean, I think there's a huge Freudian argument to be made, and we don't have any issue with small penises. Well, I mean, Pumps does from time to time. But I think there's no question, you know, if we look at this case in its entirety, we have Stormy Daniels, who literally has been boots on the ground. And we've heard exactly what the reports came back about this.
Right.
And everything with him is the biggest, the greatest. And I think that all of that is to compensate for personal shortcomings that he has mentally, physically, athletically. I mean, this is a man who truly has never been good at anything except for being a criminal.
Right. And
grifting people. And he has found in the American public a percentage of them that just buy into this hook, line, and sinker. And other Republicans try to do this, like Kitten Heels DeSantis, because he has to wear the booster heels because he's so short. He tried to be a little mini Trump and it didn't work.
No.
And now the little mini tyrant, JD Vance, is trying. And I just want to show you how bad he is at his job. Here is a part of his "I'm going to be a badass on the tarmac" interview with the press in Michigan.
Sometimes, what makes you smile? What makes you happy?
Well, I smile at a lot of things, including bogus questions from the media, man. I mean, look, I think if you watch a full speech that I give, I actually am having a good time out here and I'm enjoying this. But look, sometimes you got to take the good with the bad. And right now I am angry. I think my message to the American people is very simple on this, that President Trump in particular has the best sense of humor of anybody I've ever seen in American politics. He loves to joke. He loves to tell, he loves to make fun of everybody that's...
Have you ever seen anybody worse at their job than JD Vance is? I didn't think it was possible to outdo the abject failure of a pick that Sarah Palin
Right.
does. I mean, this he's doing it. She asked him a softball question. What makes you happy? JD, this is where you say, serving the American people and the looks of the faces of my children when I come home, meeting people on the campaign trail, fighting for America. It was a layup. And he says, well, not stupid questions like this. I mean, he is so inept and so bad at his job that he even takes it further. He's got his shovel out and he's digging and he's like, oh, yeah. Donald Trump is hilarious. I mean, that guy has the best sense of humor. He makes fun of everybody. Right. I mean, surely he's not that stupid. But I think that all of the quasi-smart people left the Republican Party within these last 3 cycles. And this is the bottom feeder campaign. This is all bottom feeders. It's a bottom feeder parade that we have going on the tarmacs at the United States of America. It's like the Harris Walz campaign is a PhD candidate.
Right.
I might have said this was elementary school. This is poopy diaper shit.
Right. This is toddler style. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm no campaign expert, but somebody says what makes you smile. I mean, there are 1 million answers that are better than that. And I'm not an expert, but I can think of 1 million things you say other than that. And just for the last 2 weeks, everybody's been like, has anybody ever seen Donald Trump laugh? I mean, people are going into the bowels of C-SPAN to dig up clips. Nobody on planet Earth can find a clip of him laughing because he can't do it. He cannot be self-deprecating. He cannot be anything other than a whiny, crybaby victim. It's repulsive. And JD Vance, I mean, it's like the best thing that ever happened to Sarah Palin in the history books is JD Vance. Like, her star is on the rise because he is so pathetic.
It's just, he's so bad at his job. The campaign is such in a free fall. You've got Donald Trump at the top, the most incompetent grifter on the planet, and the trickle down incompetence. JD Vance 2 days ago was at a rally where they put Kamala chaos and everybody is standing up.
Right.
And all you can see is JD Vance, the crowd, and you just see the Kamala. Furthermore, I don't know who this, sharp as a tacked intellect is that came up with Kamala chaos, but it's kind of like good for Kamala because it is right now. She is throwing chaos into the heart of the MAGA movement. Every accusation is a confession with these people. They are in chaos because of Kamala. But the optics of that they've got all of these people that work on this campaign, that somebody didn't say, oh, shit, when we do the math on this, when the crowd stands up behind JD, it's just going to say Kamala. Nobody thought that through because these people are so bad at their jobs. Their options are this right now. okay, how do we keep Trump out of the public? How do we keep him off Truth Social? We send out JD Vance. Yesterday was a disaster for JD Vance, an absolute disaster. He embarrassed himself. He embarrassed all white men across the United States of America with that entourage photo. Like, look at us. It's so embarrassing. But I just want to remind you, because this is one of my favorite videos of this campaign cycle, and it's a little old, a couple of months old, but these are the surrogates that MAGA has. And I'll leave the listener with this. Moses Mike Johnson is the Speaker of the House who believes that he has daily conversations with God, where God tells him he's Moses. This man took his daughter to a purity ball, and he and his son monitor each other's porn use. That's where we are in the United States of America. And here's what this godly man, when he is talking about Trump, here's what he says.
Invite everybody from around the world to come here, including hardened criminals and dangerous persons. And the result, we all know.
It's an oldie but a goodie.
Including hardened criminals. I mean, that is just so great. It reminds me of when Nikki Haley was at the RNC and she's endorsing Donald Trump and she's shaking her head no.
No.
I wholeheartedly endorse Donald John Trump. These people have no moral backbone. They're terrible at their jobs. The American people are finally coalesced around a campaign that we believe in, that provides feminine hygiene care for women that can't afford it, for young girls that can't afford it, wants to feed kids. So all of the moral majority Christian bullshit that attaches themselves to this Project 2025, it is chaos for you right now.
Well, and I do think, just going back to the Kamala chaos where everybody's standing up, name recognition is a big thing for low information voters. And so they're going out with their campaign slogan being her fucking name. Like, again, I'm not a political strategist, but that seems like don't do it 101. It's just the trickle down incompetence. And I just think these people, they're going for the low information, uneducated vote, and they're going to get that. But what I like about the Harris-Walz campaign is I'm excited about it. I'm hopeful. I see joy in it, not like America's shit, I hate America, World War III. I mean, that stuff, like, shut the fuck up.
It's the buzzword bullshit from the biggest bottom feeder campaign ever. Whatever people remain haven't been indicted yet,
right,
around him. And the others have said, and other people that won't endorse him, Mike Pence is a nut. I mean, this guy is a total religious wacko nut job. He won't even endorse Donald Trump. Liz Cheney, whose dad I cannot stand, and she is like, she has a lesbian sister and is actively anti-woman. She won't even endorse him.
Right.
That's why this campaign now is bottom feeder city. And every day on this little newscast, it's going to be Rip City. And we're going to rip into these people every single day until Kamala wins. And then I think we take the most smug week-long victory lap.
Completely agree.
All right, stick with us for more hot takes.
It's so